Right, so we will start the lesson. So kindly write down the lesson heading. Okay, so that will be length. Okay, length. So that is the 16th lesson of your textbook, right? Okay, so kindly write down the heading length, 16th lesson. Right, so from starting from grade 3 onwards, right? So you know some relationship between lengths, right? For instance, 1 centimeter that is equal to 10 millimeters. Centimeter කියලා කියන්නේ millimeters 10. Right? Then 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Meter එක කියන්නේ centimeter 100. 1 kilometer that is equal to what? 1000 meters. These three key points, those are the key points which you will have to remember. හරි grade 7 වල විතරක් නෙමෙයි 11 වසරට යනකොට එතනින් එහාටත් ඔයාලට මේවා ඕන වෙනවා. මොකද theoretical ලෝකේ විතරක් නෙමෙයි practical ලෝකෙත් ඔයාලට මේ conversions දැනගන්න වෙනවා. Right. So take your time and kindly write down these three relationships. Okay. So centimeters, meters and kilometers. හරි එතකොට ඔයාලා note එක take down කරනකොට හරි වීඩියෝ එක pause කරලා අවශ්‍ය දේ ලියා ගන්න ඊට පස්සේ වීඩියෝ එක play කරගන්න. What are we going to learn in this lesson? 4 things. First one, addition. Second one, subtraction. Addition and subtraction related to lengths, right? Then the third one, multiplication. Fourth one, division. Multiplication and division related to lengths. So මෙන්න මේ දේවල් හතර තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ, right? So I think you can remember that when we did the maths lesson, right? In that lesson also we have gone through these 4 topics, and also in the future when you are doing liquid measurements lesson, these 4 things are the main things that we are focusing on, right? එතකොට ඔයාලා දන්නවා මම මුලින්ම කතා කරන්නේ addition and subtraction. හරි? ඒ දෙක ගැන කතා කරනකොටත් මම කතා කරන්නේ ඔයාලට උගන්වන්නේ ඔයාලට කියන්නේ subtraction, right? Subtraction වලින් තමයි ඔයාලා ඇත්තටම දෙයක් ඉගෙන ගන්න. හරි? Addition එච්චර අමාරු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. සාමාන්‍ය ඉලක්කම් එකතු කරන විදිහටම තමයි addition අපි එකතු කරන්නේ, but when you are doing subtraction there are a lot of things that you can learn. හරි. එහෙනම් ලියා ගන්න subheading එක addition and subtraction related to lengths. Addition and subtraction related to lengths. Addition and subtraction related to lengths. Right. So we will take an example. So this example will be related to subtraction. Okay. Then under this subheading, write down an asterisk mark followed by subtraction. Subheading එක ලියාගෙන ඒ යටතේ subtraction කියලා ලියන්න. Right. අපි කෙලින්ම උදාහරණයකට යමු. Okay. So the first example, take your time, pause the video and write down the question. මේක කරන්න යන්න එපා, ඉස්සෙල්ලා කරන විදිහ බලාගෙන ඉන්න. Okay. So what do we have to do? We have to do a subtraction. අඩු කිරීමක් තියෙනවා. Right? Whenever you are doing a subtraction or addition, make addition වලටත් අදාළයි. Start from the smaller unit. When we compare centimeters and millimeters, we know centimeters is the large unit. ඒකනේ 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters කියලා කියන්නේ. එතකොට මෙතන ලොකු unit එක වෙන්නේ කවුද? When we compare centimeters and millimeters, centimeters. එතකොට ඉස්සල්ලාම අපි මෙන්න මේ section එකේ තමයි වැඩේ ඉවර කරගෙන එතන ඉඳන් එහා පැත්තට එන්නේ. So we are starting from the millimeters section. Then we move on to the centimeter portion, right? Then 3න් 5ක් අපිට අඩු කරන්න බෑ. 3න් 5ක් අඩු කරන්න බෑ. එතකොට මොකද කරන්නේ? We borrow a 1 from the centimeter portion, right? But the thing is unlike normal subtraction, right? When we are borrowing a 1, so what are these centimeters? So when we are borrowing a 1 from the centimeter portion, and when that 1 comes to the millimeter portion, අපි ගන්න එක සෙන්ටිමීටර් පැත්තෙන් නම් මිලිමීටර් පැත්තට එනකොට ඒවා මිලිමීටර්ස් වෙනවා. So even though we have bought 1 centimeter, when it comes to the millimeter section, it becomes what? 10 millimeters. Now how many millimeters are there? කලින් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. පස්සේ අපි එකක් ඉල්ලගත්තේ සෙන්ටිමීටර් එකක්. හැබැයි ඒක එකක් වුණාට සෙන්ටිමීටර් එකක් වුණාට ඒක මිලිමීටර්ස් 10ක්. So 10 millimeters. කොච්චරක් තිබ්බද? 3ක් තිබ්බනේ. So 3 millimeters කලින් ඉඳන්ම තිබ්බා. So all together we have what? 13 millimeters. Millimeters 13ක් තියෙනවා. Now from 13 millimeters we can subtract 5. Right? 13 minus 5. 13 minus 5 we get what? 8 millimeters. එතකොට මෙතන තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? 8යි. දැන් හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න අපි මෙතනින් centimeters වලින් එකක් දුන්නා. So the remaining centimeters will be what? 31. So we can subtract 7 from 31. Right? 1 minus 7 we can't do. 11 minus 7 we know that will be a 4. Then here this will be 2. Okay? So what will be the answer? 24 centimeters and 8 millimeters. Right. So just as before, we start the subtraction from the meters. Why? When we compare kilometers and meters, right? Meters is the smaller unit. එතකොට අපි පටන් ගන්නේ පුංචි unit එකෙන් තමයි පටන් ගන්නේ. Right? So at a glance we know we cannot subtract 700 from 50. So just as before, we are taking 1 from where? Kilometers. When we take 1 kilometer and it crosses over to the meter portion, that 1 kilometer becomes what? 1000 meters. Right? We know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, no? හරි? මේක දන්නවනේ. හරිද? අන්න ඒක හන්ද තමයි හැම වෙන්නේ. එකක් ගත්තාම මේක 1000ක් වෙනවා. හරි. එතකොට ඉල්ලගත්ත එකයි හිටපු එකන එක දැන් කොච්චරක් තියෙනවද? 1000 plus 50. So that will be what? 1050 meters. දැන් මෙයාගෙන් 700ක් අපිට අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? 1050 minus 700. 0 minus 0 we get a 0. 5 minus 0 we get a 5. 0 minus 7 we can't do. 10 minus 7 we know that is 350. So here 350. Now before there were 6. Now there are 5 kilometers. 5 minus 2 we know that's a 3. So the answer is what? 3 kilometers and 350 meters. Right. Okay, so now we will do some questions regarding subtraction, right? So kindly pause the video and do the questions. Okay, so the question will be subtract the following lengths. Question එක වෙන්නේ subtract the following lengths. So we will check the answers now. So 35. So in the first part we have to start from the centimeter portion, right? So we can subtract 35 from 20. මේ මුළු සංඛ්‍යාවම දිහාම බලන්න. හරි? 35න් 20ක් අපිට අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ. හරි. 5 minus 0 we know that's a 5. 3 minus 2 that's a 1. 8 minus 5 that's a 3. So the answer will be 3 meters and 15 centimeters. Okay, now we will move to the second question. We have to start from the meters portion. Why? We know when we compare kilometers and meters, meters is a smaller unit. Then 810 920ක් අපිට අඩු කරන්න බෑ. Then what do? We take 1 from the kilometer side. So එකක් ඉල්ල ගත්තා 810 තිබ්බා. How many kilometers are, sorry, meters are there now? 1000 plus 810. So that will be 1810. Now from that we can subtract 920. 0 minus 0, we get a 0. 1 minus 2 we can't do. 11 minus 2, we know that's a 9. So here the remaining number will be 7. 7 minus 9 we can't do. 17 minus 9 we know that's 8. So here it will be 890. Now we have 6 kilometers. එකක් දුන්නනේ. එතකොට ඉතිරි වෙන්නේ 6යි. 6න් 3ක් ගියා කියන්නේ 3යි. So this will be the answer. 3 kilometers and 890 meters. Right. Right. So now we will check the answers. So on the centimeter portion, we cannot subtract 90 from 83. Sorry. Yes, 90 from 83. Then what do we have to do? We have to borrow a 1 from the meter portion. Right? So how many total meters are there now? 100 plus 83. මේ ඉල්ලගත් එක මේ කලින් ඉඳන් තිබ්බ එක. So it will be 183. Now we can subtract 90 from 183. Okay? 3 minus 0, we know that's a 3. 8 minus 9 we can't do. 18 minus 9 we know that's 90. That's a 9. Now here the remaining number will be what? Digit will be 6. 6 minus 2 we know that's a 4. So what will be the answer? 4 meters and 93 centimeters. Okay, moving on to the next portion. Next question. So here also we know we cannot subtract 470 from 320. So we have to borrow a 1 from the kilometer side. So what is the total amount of meters when we borrow a 1? 1000 plus 320. So that will be 1320. Now we can subtract 470 from 1320. Right? So 470, 0 minus 0, we know that's a 0. 2 minus 7 we can't do. 12 minus 7 we know that's a 5. So the remaining digit here will be 2. 2 minus 4 we can't do. 12 minus 4 we know that's 8. So this is 850, that is meters. Now the remaining digit here is what? 4. 4 minus 2 we know that's a 2. Right? So the answer is what? 2 kilometers and 850. Okay. So kilometers, meters and centimeters. Just as before, we have to start from here. Right? Centimeters is a smallest unit when we compare kilometers, meters and centimeters. Right? So we cannot subtract 82 from what? 34. So we have to borrow a 1 from the meter section. Right? So I will do the centimeter part here. So how many what is the total amount of centimeters when we borrow a 1? 100 plus 34. මේ ඉල්ලගත්ත එක මේ කලින් ඉඳන් තිබ්බ ටික. So this will be what? 134 centimeters. Right? So from 134 we can subtract 82. 4 minus 2, that's a 2. 3 minus 8 we can't do. 13 minus 8 we know that's a 5. So here this will be 52, that is centimeters. Okay. Now here the remaining meters will be what? 317. And also we cannot subtract 578 from 317 meters. Then what do we have to do? We have to borrow a 1 from the kilometer section. So when we bought a 1 from the kilometer section, what will be the total amount of meters? Right? I will erase this section now. Okay. So meter section. Okay. So we bought 1 kilometer. That means 1000 meters. Then 317. 18 එහෙම නෙමෙයි ඈ. එකක් දුන්නා නේ පැත්තට. So 1317. That is the total amount of meters. From that we can subtract 578. 7 minus 8 we can't do. 17 minus 8 we know that's a 9. 0 minus 7 we can't do. Right? 10 minus 7 we know that's a 3. So here the remaining digit is 2. 2 minus 5 we can't do. 12 minus 5, we know that's 7. So 739, that is what? Meters. Right. So what is the remaining digit here? 5. 5 minus 2, we know that's a 3. So what will be the answer? 3 kilometers, 739 meters and 52 centimeters. Okay, so this will be the 6th part. Write down the question and calculate the answer. Right, so here we cannot subtract 87 from 57, so we have to borrow a 1 from the meter side. Right? So how many centimeters are there after we borrow a 1? 100 plus 57, so that will be 157. Right? From 157, we can subtract 87. 7 minus 7, that's a 0. 5 minus 8, we can't do. 15 minus 8, we know that's a 7. Now, we come to the meter portion. So, there we have, after we have given a 1, the remainder will be what? 272. From that, we cannot subtract 721. So, what do? We borrow a 1 from our neighbor. Here, it is kilometers. So, when we borrow a 1, after we borrow a 1, what is the total amount of meters? 1000 plus 272. So that will be 1272 meters. From that, we have to subtract 721. 2 minus 1, that's a 1. 7 minus 2, that's a 5. 2 minus 7, we can't do. 12 minus 7, we know that's a 5. So 551. Here, the remainder will be what? 11. 11 minus 6, we know that's a 5. So this will be the answer. 5 kilometers, 551 meters and 70 centimeters. Okay, so now we will do some additions also. Some questions regarding additions, right? Question number 2. Right. So pause the video and do the calculations. We have to start adding from the millimeter portion, right? Always remember, when in subtraction or addition, we have to start from the smallest unit. So 8 plus 9, we know that's what? 17. But we cannot write 17 here. දැන් මෙතන මෙහෙම 17 දාලා මේක එකතු කරන්න බෑ. Why? We know 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So when we take 17 millimeters, right? Some of that can be converted into centimeters. Then we can shift that converted centimeter amount to the centimeter side. හරි? දැන් මෙතන අපිට එන්නේ මොකද්ද? මිලිමීටර්ස් 17ක් කියලා එන්නේ. මෙතනින් අපිට යම්කිසි ප්‍රමාණයක් සෙන්ටිමීටර්ස් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ සෙන්ටිමීටර්ස් කරගත්ත ටික අපි දානවා කොහාටද? සෙන්ටිමීටර් සයිඩ් එකට. Right? So here we cannot write simply 8 plus 9 17 එහෙම දාන්න බෑ. Right? එතකොට අපි ආපහු පොඩ්ඩක් එක බලමු. So we know 8 plus 9, that is what? 17. As a number, if we consider these two are numbers, this is correct. But these are what? Millimeters. So we know 17 millimeters is what? 10 millimeters and 7 millimeters. We can break 17 millimeters into what? 10 millimeters and 7 millimeters. ඒ විදිහට කඩන්න පුළුවන්. එතනිනුත් අපි දන්නවා 10 millimeters means what? 1 centimeter. එහෙනම් අපි මෙයාව එහා පැත්තට දාන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මෙතන ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ කීයද ළමයි? 7ක්. 12 minus 8, sorry, 12 plus 8, we know that's 20, but we have to add the 1. That becomes what? 21. So the answer is 21 centimeters and 7 millimeters. Okay, moving to here, same thing. We have to start from the millimeter portion, right? So 8 plus 8, we know that is 16. So those are millimeters. And we know 16 millimeters, we can break it as what? 10 plus 6 millimeters, right? So 10 millimeters, we know we can get 1 centimeter from that. මෙතන millimeters 10 කියන එක centimeter කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ඒක අපිට centimeter පැත්තට දාන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So මෙතන මේ සෙට් එක ගියපුවාම කවුද මෙතන ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ? 6ක් විතරයි. 6. 14 plus 10 we know that is 24, but we have to add a 1. අයි මේ පැත්තෙන් ආව එක්කන. So here the answer will be what? 25. 25 centimeters and 6 millimeters. So that will be the answer. Right. So just as before, we have to start from the smallest unit. So here we have to start from the centimeter portion, right? Okay. So we will add these section first. Okay. So 78 and 85. 8 plus 5, we know that's a 13. So there's a 1. 7 plus 8, that is 15. Add the 1, it becomes what? 163. So these are what? These are centimeters. So we can break this into what? 163. 100 centimeters and 63 centimeters. Then මේ මොනවද? Meters. So we can convert this 100 centimeter into what? A meter. Right? We know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. මෙන්න මේ මම කියවනේ අර තුන් දෙනෙක් හැම වෙලාවෙම ඔළුව තියාගන්න කියලා. හරි? එතකොට මේක තමයි අපි මෙතනදී පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. So we have to convert this 100 centimeters into what? Meters. Then නිකම් මේ 100 එහෙමම දාලා 100 ධන 4 ධන 3 කියලා එහෙම දාන්න බෑ. ඇයි? මේ මොනවද? මෙතන centimeters තියෙනවා ඈ. මේ මොනවද? මේවා centimeters. මේ මොනවද? meters. එතකොට අපිට හිතන සෙල්ලම් දාන්න බෑ. Right? We have to convert them. එතකොට මෙතන ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ කීයක්ද එතකොට? 63. 4 plus 3, we know that's a 7. Then we have to add another one. So this becomes what? 8. So the answer is 8 meters and 63 centimeters. 8 meters and 63 centimeters. Right. Now we will go to the next question. So we will start from the meter portion. So 728, we have to add 675. 8 plus 5, we know that's a 13. So there's a 1. 2 plus 7, that is 9. Add the 1, it becomes a 10. Then again there's a 1. 7 plus 6, that is 13. Add the 1, it becomes 14. Then මේ මොනවද මේ? These are what? These are meters. දැන් මෙතන අපිට 1403 කියලා හැම ලියන්න බෑ. ඒ සෙල්ලම් දාන්න බෑ. ඒ ඔට්ටුනේ. Why? We can break this into what? 1000 plus 403. 1000 meters and 403 meters. What is 1000 meters? When we convert it into kilometers, 1 kilometer. කලින් වගේම තමයි. මේක අපි meter side එකකින් නම් මෙහාට දාන්න. මේ ටික තමයි අපි මෙතනින් ලියන්නේ. So this will be what? 403. 7 plus 6, that is 13. Add the 1, it becomes 14. So the answer is what? 14 kilometers and 403 meters. Right, so just as before, we have to, when we consider the part 5, we have to start from the meter portion, right? So 643 plus 574. 3 plus 4, that's a 7. 4 plus 7, that is 11. So there's a 1. 6 plus 5, that is 11. Add the 1, it becomes 12. So these are what? These are meters. So we can break 1217 into what? 1217. So these are what? Meters. This is also meters. හරි මේක නිකන් කෙලින්ම අපිට මෙතන 1217යි කියලා මෙතන ලියන්න බෑ. මේක normal addition නෙමෙයිනේ නේ. We are adding what? Lengths. හරි? නැත්තම් lengths I mean අපිට අමුතුවෙන් addition ගැන කතා කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ මේ lesson එකේදී. Right? Addition කියන එක ඔයාලා කොහොමදක් දන්නවනේ. But here we are learning what? Addition related to lengths. හරි? එතකොට මොකද කරන්නේ? මෙන්න මේ portion එක අපි kilometers කරලා එහා පැත්තට දාන්න ඕනේ. Right? So what will be the remainder here? 270. 12 plus 8, we know that's 20, but don't forget the 1, it will be 21. So the answer is 21 kilometers and 217 meters. So here we will start from the centimeter portion. So we have what? 37 plus 83. 7 plus 3, that's a 10, so there's a 1. 3 plus 8, that is 11. Add the 1, it becomes 12. Right? So these are what? These are centimeters. So we can break this into 100 plus 20. Okay? So we have to convert this one centimeter into meter. Right? So this is 100 centimeters. That means what? 1 meter. Now here 588, 612. 8 plus 2, we know that's a 10. So there's a 1. 8 plus 1, that is 9. Add the 1, it becomes a 10. Again there's a 1. 5 plus 6, that is 11. Add the 1, it becomes 12. ඔන්න දැන් අමතක කරන්න එපා මෙතන එක එහා පැත්තෙන් ආව එක. So altogether we have what? 1201 meters. දැන් මේකත් මෙතන මෙහෙම අපිට ලියන්න බෑ. Why? These are meters no. So we can break this into 1201 meters into 1000 meters and 201 meters. දැන් මෙන්න මේ ටික අපි කිලෝමීටර්ස් කරලා කිලෝමීටර් සයිඩ් එකට දානවා. මෙන්න මේ ටික තමයි මෙතන ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ 201. So 7 plus 2, that is 9. Add the 1, it becomes 10. So what is the answer? 10 kilometers, 201 meters and 20 centimeters. Right. So first of all we will start from the millimeter portion. 8 plus 7, that is what? 15. Add a 6, it becomes what? 21. Right. So those are what? Millimeters. So we cannot write 21 as it is under the millimeter section. Right. So we can break this into what? 20 plus 1. So these are what? Millimeters. This is also millimeters. 20 millimeters means what in centimeters? 2 centimeters. Alright. So now we can write 1 under here. Then we have to carry on this 2 to the centimeter portion. Right? Okay. So now we will add the centimeter portion. So we have to add another 2 for that. So 35 plus 85 plus 71. 5 plus 5, that is 10. Add the 1, it becomes 11. So that's a 1. 3 plus 8, that is 11. Add the 7, it becomes 18. Add another 1, it becomes 19. Right? So 191, don't forget the 2. So this becomes what? 193. So these are what? These are centimeters, no? So we can break this into 100 plus 93. So we can write 93 under here. Then this 100 means what? These are centimeters, no? So we can convert it into what? Meters. These are centimeters. So when we convert it into meters, it becomes what? 1 meter. Right? So 7 plus 3, that is 10. Add the 2, it becomes 12. Don't forget this one. So we have what? 13. So the answer is 13 meters, 85 centimeters. Sorry, 13 meters, 93 centimeters and 1 millimeter. Right? So we have to start from the centimeter part. So 28 plus 74. 8 plus 4, that is 12. So there's a 1. 2 plus 7, that's 9. Add a 1, it becomes 10. So 102, those are what? Centimeters. So we can write this as 100 plus 2. Then මේ දෙක තමයි අපිට මෙතන ලියන්න පුළුවන්. This we have to convert it into what? Meters. Right? So when we convert 100, which is centimeters, into meters, this becomes what? 1. Then මේ එක මොකද කරන්නේ? මෙන්න මේ දෙක එකතු කරලා ඒකට මේක එකතු කරන්න. Right? So 604 plus 516, 4 plus 6, that is 10. So there's a 1. 0 plus 1, that is 1. Add the 1, it becomes a 2. 6 plus 5, that is 11. Don't forget this one. So 1121. Then ඒව මොනවද? Those are meters. So 1121, we can break this as what? 1000 plus 121. Then මෙන්න මේක තමයි අපි මෙතන ලියන්නේ. මේ ටික, these are what? Meters. We can convert it into kilometers and give it to the kilometer portion, right? So 1000 meters, when we convert this into kilometers, this becomes what? 1 kilometer. 7 plus 3, that is 10. Add the 1, it becomes 11. So the answer is 11 kilometers, 121 meters and 2 centimeters. Pause the video and do the calculation. Just as before, we have to start from the smallest unit. So when we compare meters, centimeters and millimeters, meters is the smallest unit. So 9 plus 6, that is 15. So from that we can write 5, right? 15 we can break it into 10 plus 5. So this 5 we can write under the millimeter column, but this 10 we have to convert it into what? Centimeters. So 72 plus 48, 8 plus 2, that is 10, so there's a 1. 7 plus 4, that is 11. Add the 1, it becomes a 12. Don't forget, we have to add another 1. So this becomes 121. Right? So here also, we cannot simply just write 121 here under the centimeter column. We have to break this 121 into 100 plus 21. This 21 we can write under the centimeter column. This 100, which is centimeters, we have to convert it into what? Meters. Right? So 3 plus 4, that is 7. Add the 1, it becomes 8. So what will be the answer? 8 meters, 21 centimeters and 5 millimeters. Right. So under our lesson, we have discussed how to do addition and subtraction related to lengths. Right? Now we have to learn what? Multiplication and division. Okay. So write down the subheading: multiplication and division. Right. So you can take all the time when you are writing down or taking down the notes and doing the questions, because you can always pause the video, right? So under this, write down multiplication. So we will start from an example, okay? So we have been given, this will be number 1, example number 1, 3 centimeters and 7 millimeters, right? 3 centimeters and 7 millimeters. We have to multiply that by 5. Okay, so there are 2 methods where we can get an answer, right? So we will look at both of these methods, so you can choose whatever is best for you, right? So this will be the first method, method 1. Right, so what do we do? So we have centimeters and millimeters. So 3 centimeters and 7 millimeters. So we have to multiply that by what? So just as when we did addition and subtraction, you start from the smallest unit. So we will start the multiplication from the millimeter portion. So we know 7 times 5, that is what? 35. So we cannot write 35 just when we are doing a normal multiplication. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 4 5 කියලා එහෙම දාන්න බෑ. Why? This is multiplication related to lengths, right? So these are what? These are millimeters. So we can break this into what? 30 plus 5. 30 millimeters and 5 millimeters. Now this 30 millimeters, we have to convert it into what? Centimeters. Right? So we can write 5 under here. Right? So this is millimeters. So when we convert 30 millimeters into what? Centimeters, it becomes 3 centimeters. Now we know 5 times 3, that is 15. So I'm talking about the centimeter portion now. So we have done this part. Now we move on to the centimeter portion. So 3 times 5 is what? 15. Those are centimeters. But we have to add the 3 also. So 15 plus 3, we know that is 18. So this will be 18. So the answer is what? 18 centimeters and 5 millimeters. So what do we have? 3 centimeters and 7 millimeters. So first of all, when a length has been given to us in this manner, then මේක අපිට කැලි දෙකකට වගේ දීලා තියෙන millimeters වලින් දීලා තියෙනවා centimeters වලින් දීලා තියෙනවා. So when we compare centimeters and millimeters, which unit is a smaller one? Millimeters. right? So what do? We convert 3 centimeters and 7 millimeter, this whole length, into what? Millimeters. I millimeters වලට convert කරේ. මේ length එකේ centimeters and millimeters කියන දෙකම තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකෙන් අපි දන්නවා millimeters කියන එක තමයි පුංචි කියලා. අපි ඒකට තමයි convert කරන්නේ. Right? So this portion we don't have to convert. Why? It is already given to us in millimeters. This part we have to convert. So 3 times 10 plus 7. So this will be what? 30 plus 7. So this will be 37. Now this is what? Millimeters. Now we will multiply this by what? 5. So 37 multiplied by 5. 5 times 7, that is 35. So there's a 3. 5 times 3, that is 18. Add the 3. 5 times 3, that is 15. Add the 3, it becomes 18. Now the answer here is what? 185. But this is what? Millimeters. But the thing is, the length has been given to us in centimeters and millimeters. So we can convert this into centimeters and millimeters also, no? So 185, we can break this as what? We can break this as 180 plus 5. So this is millimeters, this is also millimeters, right? So we can divide this by 10. So this becomes what? 18 centimeters and 5 millimeters. So this will be the answer. 18 centimeters and 5 millimeters. Let's walk it through again, right? So we have been, this is method number 2, right? So we have been given the length 3 centimeters and 7 millimeters. So we have to multiply that by 5. अभी ये multiplication एक बोटा रामतक करूँगा. So the originally the length is given to us in centimeters and millimeters. So what do? We compare these two units. So we know millimeters is the small unit. So what do? We convert this whole length into what? Millimeters. එයා පුංචි එක්කෙනානේ. ඒකට තමයි convert කරන්නේ. Right? 3 times 10. Right? So we know 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, no? So I have to multiply 3 by 10. Then plus 7. Why? May method 7 millimeters, we don't have to convert, no? It is already given to us in millimeters, no? Right. So 30 plus 7, that becomes 37. Now this total is what? That is in millimeters. Now we can multiply that by 5. When we multiply that by 5, we get what? 185. First of all, the length is given to us in centimeters and millimeters, no? So we can break 185 millimeters into 180 and a 5. Then we divide 180 by 10. අයි අපි එහෙම බෙදන්නේ. ඒක තියෙන්නේ millimeters නේ. අපි ඒක centimeters කරනවා. So this becomes 80 centimeters and 5 millimeters. We discussed this multiplication using 2 methods. So whichever method is easier for you, you can do this. You can select any method. Right? So just as before, I will explain this using the 2 methods. So first one, method number 1, kilometers and meters. 3 kilometers and 175. So we have to multiply that by what? So how do we do this? We start from the meter section, right? 175 into 12. Okay. So 175, we will multiply that by 12. 2 times 5, that is 10, so there's a 1. 2 times 7, that is 14. Add the 1, it becomes 15. Again, there's a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add the 1, it becomes 3. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is what? 7. 1 times 1 is what? 1. Now we do the addition. 0. 5 plus 5, that is 10. So there's a 1. 3 plus 7, that's a 10. Add the 1, it becomes an 11. Again, there's a 1. 1 plus 1, that is 2. So the number is 2100. But what are we talking about? This 2100 is what? So here we have what? 2100 meters. So we can break this into what? 2000 plus 100. These two are meters. මම මෙහෙම meters එම ලියන්න බෑ. මම මේ ඔයාලට පැහැදිලිව can හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න තමයි එහෙම ලිව්වේ, right? So here we can convert this 2000 meters into kilometers by dividing it by 1000, no? So we get what? 2 kilometers. Now this 100 we can write under this meter column, right? So we know 3 times 12 is what? 36, but we have to add another 2. So this becomes what? 38. So the answer is what? 38 kilometers and 100 meters. Right. So pause the video and note it down. Right. So now we will move to the other method, which is method number 2. So we have been given 3 kilometers and 175 meters. We will convert this total length into what? Meters. I have meters what convert karne. When we compare kilometers and meters, we know meters is a small unit. So we convert all of this, we convert this total length into meters. So 3 we have to multiply that by 1000. 175 we don't have to do anything. Why? It is already given to us in meters. So this becomes what? 3000 plus 175. So this is what? 3175 meters. Right, so now what do? We take 3175 and we multiply that by 12. So we have what? 38,100. These are what? These are meters. So we can break this into 38,000 plus 100. So this is meters and this is also meters. So we can divide this number by 1000, right? Then this becomes what? 38 kilometers and 100 meters. So that is the answer just as before. Right. So now write down the subheading, dividing fractions. Dividing fractions. We will take 5 meters and 46 centimeters, right? So the given length is given in both meters and centimeters. Now we will divide this using by what? By 2. So we will take the first method, right? So kindly write down 5 meters and 46 centimeters divided by 2. So this is method 1. Method 1, right? So in the first method, the given length, meters centimeters, right? So we will convert all of these into what? Centimeters. So this is 5 times 100 plus 46. So this becomes what? 500 plus 46. So that is what? 546. Now all are in what? This is 5. Now all are in centimeters. Now what do? We divide 546 by 2. So that is centimeters. So write down. This is example number 1. Example number 1. 5 meters and 46 centimeters divided by 2. So method 1, write this. Make a liyan donne. Make a liyaganda. Method nakama liyaganda. Now pause the video and write down. So what do we have to do? We have to divide 546 by 2. How many 2's are there in 5? We can go up to 2. 2 times 2 is what? 4. 5 minus 4, that is 1. Get the 4. Altogether 14. How many 2's are there in 14? 7. 2 times 7 is what? 14. 14 minus 14, we get a 0. Now get this 6. Right? How many 2's are there in 6? 3. 2 times 3 is what? 6. 6 minus 6, we get a 0. Right? So when we divide 546 by 2, we get what? 273. But that is in centimeters. Now the given length, that is given to us in what? Meters and centimeters. Right? So we will write this in meters and centimeters as well. Right? So we can break 273 into what? 273. Right? 273. So this is centimeters and this is also centimeters. But you know 200 centimeters, when we convert that into meters, that becomes what? 2 meters. So the answer will be what? 2 meters and 73 centimeters. So this will be the answer. My division part එක පේන්න තියෙන්න ඕන. ඊළඟට මේ ටික ලියා ගන්න under method 1. Now pause the video and write. Right? Method number 2. So in method number 2, we take 5 meters and 46 centimeters and we will just divide. Right? We will just divide it. 5 meters and 46 centimeters. Now we will divide this by what? 2. Right. How many 2's are there in 5? We can go up to 2. 2 times 2 is what? 4. 5 minus 4, that is 1. Now what do? We give this 1 meter into the centimeter portion. So that 1 meter becomes what? 100 centimeters. Meter එකක් කියන්නේ centimeters 100ක් නේ. 1 meter is equal to what? 100 centimeters. Now what do? We add the 46. So this becomes what? 146. Right? So how many 2's are there in 14? We can go up. How many 2's are there in 14? 7. 2 times 7 is what? 14. 14 minus 14, we get a 0. Now get the 6. How many 2's are there in 6? Right? And write down meters and centimeters here. Now the answer is what? Answer is 2 meters and 73 centimeters, just as before. So just as before, I will do. I will get the answer using both methods. Right? So this will be method number 1. Method 1. So we will convert this length which is given to us in what? Centimeters and millimeters. මේ සම්පූර්ණ එක අපි මොනවද කරන්නේ? Millimeters කරනවා. Always remember when you are converting, right? Pick the smaller unit. දැන් මේ දෙන්න ගත්තාම centimeters and millimeters. Millimeters එක පුංචි එක නනේ. So we will convert this length into millimeters. So 65 centimeters and 7 millimeters. Right? So 65, we have to multiply that by 10. Why? We know 1 centimeter is equal to what? 10 millimeters. Right? Plus 7. මෙයාව convert කරන්න දෙන්නේ. Okay, so we will get what? 650 plus 7. Now this is in what? These are millimeters. These are also millimeters. So we get what? 657 millimeters. Now pause the video and write this down. Right? So now what we do? We take 657 and we will divide it by what? 9. Pause the video and write it down. Make a ලියන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ටික ලියන්න. 657. So we will divide this by what? 9. How many 9's are there in 65? We can go up to what? 7. 9 times 7 is what? 63. 65 minus 63, we get a 2. Altogether 27. So we know how many 9's are there in 27. 3. 9 times 3 is what? 27. 27 minus 27, we get a 0. Right. So here 657 divided by 9, we get what? 73. But those are millimeters. Millimeters, correct? Right? Now we have to convert this value into what? Centimeters and millimeters. Right? So let's take 73 and we will divide this into what? 70 plus 3. So this is in millimeters. This is also in millimeters. So when we convert this value into what? Centimeters, this becomes what? 7. So the answer is 7 centimeters and 3 millimeters. Pause the video and write it down. Second method. So in that method, we get what? 65 and a 7 centimeters, millimeters. So we will divide this by what? 9. How many 9's are there in 65? We can go up to 7. 9 times 7 is what? 63. 65 minus 63, we get a 2. Don't forget, these are centimeters. Now we will give this to the, this is millimeters. We will give this to the millimeter side. So when 2 centimeters are given to the millimeter side, that becomes what? 20 millimeters. Now we can add the 7. So this becomes what? 27 millimeters. So how many 9's are there in 27? Right? So the answer is what? 7 centimeters and 3 millimeters. Right. So this is example number 3. So we have been given 8 kilometers and 700 740 meters, we have to divide this by what? 5. 1 kilometers, that is always equal to what? 1000 meters. Right, so we will do this using the first method, method 1, right? So 8 kilometers and 740 meters. So what do we have to do here? We have to convert this whole value into what? Meters. So 8 kilometers and 740 meters. We have to convert this into what? Meters. So 8, we have to multiply that by 1000 and we have to add 740 to that, right? So this becomes, 8,000 plus 700. So when we add these together, we get what? 8,740 meters. Hey, conversion එක ලියා ගන්න. Video එක pause කරන්න. Conversion එක ලියා ගන්න. Right. Now what do we have to do? Now we have to divide 8,740 by what? 8,740 by 5. How many 5s are there in 8? We can go up to 1. 5 times 1 is what? 5. 8 minus 5, we get a 3. Now get the 7. How many 5s are there in 37? We can go up to 7. 5 times 7 is what? 35. 37 minus 35, we get what? 2. Now get the 4. How many 5s are there in 24? We can go up to 4. 5 times 4 is what? 20. 24 minus 20, this becomes what? 40. How many 5s are there in 40? 8. Right? So here, what will be the answer? So here 5 times 8 is 40. 40 minus 40, we get a 0. Right. So here, what will be the answer? Answer is 1748. But this is what? These are meters. So we have to break this into what? We have break around on 1000 plus 748. So this is 1000 meters and this is also 1000 meters. We know when we convert these meters into kilometers, this becomes what? 1 kilometer. So here the answer will be what? 1 kilometer and 748 meters. Write down the answer. Right, so now we will do this using the second method. We just divide 740, those are in meters, divide by 5. How many 5s are there in 8? We can go up to 1. 5 times 1 is what? 5. 8 minus 5, that's a 3. So those are what? Kilometers. Now we will give this 3 kilometers into meter side. So this becomes what? 3000. Then we add the 740. So this becomes what? 3740. So for 37, how many 5s are there? We can go up to 7. 5 times 7 is what? 35. 37 minus 35, that is 2. Get the 4. 24. So how many 5s are there in 24? We can go up to 4. 5 times 4 is what? 20. 24 minus 20, we get a 4. So how many 5s are there to 40? We can, that is 8. Right? So just as before, these are kilometers, these are meters. Right? So here the answer will be what? 1 kilometer and 748 meters. Right? Okay. Write down the answer. So when we talk about length, right? In this session, right, we talked about what? 4 things, mainly 4 things, right? We talked about what? Addition, right? Then we talk about what? Subtraction, right? Then we talk about multiplication, right? Then we talked about division. So in this lesson, these are the main things that you need to know, right? Then api පාඩමේ 90ක් විතර ඉවරයි. But there's another small part which is what? Perimeter. Perimeter, and we need to know how to find the perimeter of a triangle and a square and a rectangle. Right? Okay, write down the subheading perimeter. Perimeter කියන subheading එක ලියා ගන්න. Right, so this will be a really small part, right? එතකොට මේක ගණන් හදනකොට ඔයාලට මේක ගොඩාක් පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. Right. So what is meant by perimeter? Perimeter. Right? So first thing you need to understand, we talked about perimeter regarding plane figures. ඒ කියන්නේ පෘෂ්ඨවල අදින වස්තු වලට තමයි අපි මේ පෙරිමීටර් කියන එක ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. පෙරිමීටර් කියන්නේ පරිමිතිය කියලා. කොහොම මොකක්ද මේ පරිමිතිය කියලා කියන්නේ? Perimeter is the total length of the border of a plane figure. හරි? එහෙම කිව්වට එකපාරට මොකක්ද මේ කියන්නේ කියලා හිතෙන්නේ. Right. So first of all, I am going to take a triangle. Now imagine this side is 5 centimeters, this side is 6 centimeters, and this side is 7 centimeters. So the perimeter of this triangle is what? We have to add these lengths. So 7 plus 6 is what? 13. Add the 5, it becomes what? 18. Right? So the perimeter of this triangle is what? 18 centimeters. Centimeters, right? මේ යුනිට් එක අමතක නොකර දාන්න, right? මොකද ඔයාලා වර්ගඵලය, that means area, then perimeter, volume, and all those kinds of lesson, right? Pay attention to the unit when you're writing down the answer. හරි? එතකොට අපිට මොකක්ද කරන්න තියෙන්නේ? මේ දිගවල ටික එකතු කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. The most important thing is what? When you're counting or when you're starting to add the lengths, right? You start from somewhere, no? So you have to end from there also. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතනින් පටන් ගත්තොත් 7යි 6යි 5යි මෙතනට එන්න ඕනේ. පටන් ගත්ත තැනින් තමයි ඉවර වෙන්නේ. 7ක් එකතු කරනවා 6ට 5ට ඊට පස්සේ මෙතනට එනවා මේ. පටන් ගත්ත තැනට එනවා මේ. මෙතනින් මෙතනට ආවා. මෙතනින් මෙතනට ගියා. මෙතනින් මෙතනට එනවා. එක දිගට ලූප් එකක් විදිහට එහෙම යන්න එපා. That is wrong. So always start and end from where you begin when talking about perimeter. ඒක නිකන් ගණන් හදනකොට මතක තියාගන්න. So when we talk about perimeter, just as before, we need to know the perimeter of 3 plane figures, right? That is the triangle, square, and the rectangle, right? So write down the definition of perimeter. Definitions තියෙන්නේ, right? මේ definitions ඔළුවට ගන්නවට වැඩිය හරිද? වැදගත් වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? ඔයාලා මේ perimeter කියන එකේ concept එක ඔළුවට දාගන්න. හරි? So just not trying to remember the given words, right? කටපාඩම් කරන එක නෙමෙයි. Just try to grasp the concept of the perimeter. Okay. So write down the total length of the border of a given plane figure is the perimeter, right? And underline total length. And write down the next asterisk mark. This is symbolized by capital P. Then write down perimeter of a triangle. So just draw a triangle. So 6 plus 7, that is what? 13. 13 plus 8, that is what? 21. Don't forget the unit centimeters. So what do we have to do? We just have to add the 3 lengths. Generally, if this is L1, the length is L1 centimeters, this is L2 and L3, right? And I will rename the triangle as ABC. Under this, write down perimeter of a triangle, perimeter of ABC, that is equal to L1 plus L2 plus L3. When we talk about plane figures, right, we talk about what? Triangles, no? So there are 3 types of triangles based on their side lengths. හරි? ත්‍රිකෝණවල පාදවල දිග අනුව අපිට ත්‍රිකෝණ බෙදන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ විදිහට ගත්තාම ත්‍රිකෝණ ಜಾති තුනක් තියෙනවා, right? What are the 3 types based on the length? Equilateral, isosceles, then scale. Right? So ඒ මොන ත්‍රිකෝණය ගත්තත් හරි මේ විදිහට තමයි අපි perimeter එක හොයන්නේ. Write down perimeter of a square. All of the sides are what? The length of each side is what? L. Why? In a square, there are 4 sides. All 4 sides are what? Equal in length. Right? So the perimeter of A, B, C, D, that is equal to what? L plus, L plus, L plus, L. That means what? These are like terms, right? I hope that you can remember. So we can simplify this as what? 4L. Right. Write it down. Perimeter of a square. perimeter of a rectangle. In a rectangle, opposite sides are equal in length, right? So I'm going to take this side as L, the length, and this side as B, right? So this is the length, this is the breadth, right? So the perimeter will be what? Perimeter of PQRS. That will be what? ඔයාලා පුළුවන් තරම් මෙතන ඉස්සරහින් ලියා ගන්න බලන්න මම පොඩ්ඩක් ඉඩ නැති යන්න යටින් ලියා ගන්න. If this side is L, this side is also L. Why? Opposite sides are equal in length. Same goes to B. If this side is B, this side is also B. So what will be the perimeter? We will start from here. L plus, then we have B plus again a L plus B. පටන් ගත්ත තැනින් නවතින්න ඕන. We are calculating the total length, no? These are what? L and L, like terms, 2L. This B and this B, those are what? Again like terms, 2L plus 2B. 2L plus 2B. Right. So I will rewrite perimeter P is equal to what? 2L plus 2B. This is length. This is breadth. Okay, so I hope that you have written down everything, right? So from that we come to the end of the lesson, right? Right. Thank you.